Good day everyone. Our learning competencies for this quarter 1, week 2 is to illustrate an arithmetic sequence. I am Gerardo Viduya of Ordaneta City National High School. Before we go on to our lesson, let us recall first your sign numbers. What is sign numbers? Sign numbers are numbers consist of the negative numbers and the positive numbers. We have two kinds of sign numbers. You have your like signs and unlike signs. Like signs are numbers having like signs or similar signs. For example, letter A, -5, -6. Letter B, -4, -12. Letter C, +5, +3. Letter D, -7, -9, and -14. Next, you have your unlike signs. Unlike signs are numbers having unlike signs or dissimilar sign. For example, we have letter A, -3, +7. Letter B, 11, -23. Letter C, -24, +32. And letter D, +54, -32. Let us know the rules in addition of sign numbers. In like signs, in adding two numbers having like signs, add their absolute value and prefix the common sign. For example, letter A, -5 plus -3. They have their common sign, so we have to add their absolute value. 5 plus 3 is equal to 8. Their common sign is negative, so the sum is -8. Letter B, +4 plus +5. So they have the common sign. So add their absolute value. 4 plus 5 is equal to 9. If there is no sign, do not write anymore the sign of positive because it is understood that the sign is positive. Letter C, -16 plus -22. Common sign, negative. So add their absolute value. 16 plus 22 is equal to 38. So the common sign is negative. Prefix the sign. Then therefore, the sum is -38. Letter D, -41 plus -16. Add their absolute value. 41 plus 16, 57. The common sign is negative. So the sum is -57. Next, unlike signs. In adding two numbers having unlike sign, subtract the smaller absolute value to the larger absolute value and prefix the sign of the greater absolute value. Okay, example, letter A, -3 plus +4. So they are unlike sign. So subtract the smaller absolute value to the larger absolute value. So we have 4 minus 3 is equal to 1. The sign of the greater absolute value is positive. So the sum is +1. Letter B, 23 plus -23. So the absolute value are equal. So 23 minus 23 is equal to 0. Letter C, -48 plus 50. So the higher absolute value is 50. So you have 50 minus 48 is equal to 2. The sign of the greater absolute value is positive. So the sum is +2. Letter D, 16 plus -17. Subtract the smaller to the higher absolute value. 17 minus 16 is equal to 1. The sign of the greater absolute value is negative, so the sum is -1. Next, you have the subtraction of sign numbers. So to subtract two sign numbers, change the sign of the subtrahend and proceed to addition of signed numbers. For example, letter A, -3 minus -4. The mean win here is -3 and the subtrahend is -4. So change the sign of the subtrahend, which will become +4. So they are unlike sign now. So -3 plus 4, subtract the smaller absolute value to the greater absolute value. So 4 minus 3 is 1. The sign of the greater absolute value is positive, so the difference is 1. Letter B, we have -9 minus -7. Change the sign of the subtrahend, which is -7, will become +7. Then go to addition of sign numbers. -9, +7 are unlike signs, so subtract the smaller value to the greater absolute value. So 9 minus 7 is 2. The sign of the greater absolute value is negative, so the difference is -2. Letter C, 48 minus -51, change the sign of the subtrahend, will become 51. So we have 48, +51. Then you have to add now 48 plus 51. We have the difference is 99. Letter D, -38 minus -39. Change the sign of the subtrahend. It will become +39. So subtract the smaller absolute value to the higher absolute value. We have 39 minus 38 is equal to 1. Then the sign of the higher absolute value is positive, so the difference is equal to 1. And now let us discuss about arithmetic sequence, its formula, the common difference, and determine the next term of a sequence. But first, let us know what is a sequence. A sequence is a function whose domain is the finite set, which is the set of 1, 2, 3 till n, or the infinite set, the set of 1, 2, 3, and so on. For example of a finite sequence is 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, where n here is the number of terms and a sub n is the nth term of a sequence. If n is equal to 1, where a sub 1 is the first term, the value is equal to 3. When n is 2, a sub 2 is equal to the second term and the value is 5. When n is 3, a sub 3, the third term, is equal to 7. When n is 4, a sub 4, the fourth term, is equal to 9. And n is equal to 5, a sub 5 is the fifth term, is equal to 11. Next example is your infinite sequence, which is 6, 12, 18, 24, and 30, and so on. Where n here is the number of terms. We have 5 terms. And a sub n is the nth term of the sequence. When n is 1, first term is equal to 6. When n is 2, a sub 2 is the second term, is equal to 12. When n is 3, a sub 3 is equal to the third term, is equal to 18. When n is 4, a sub 4 is the fourth term is equal to 24, and when n is 5, the a sub 5, the fifth term is equal to 30. Now let us go on. Arithmetic sequence. An arithmetic sequence is a sequence for which any element except the first can be obtained by adding a fixed number which is called the common difference to the preceding element. Now we have the formula in finding the difference of an arithmetic sequence. So we have a sub n is equal to a sub 1 plus the quantity n minus 1 times d, where a sub n here is the nth term or the last term, a sub 1 is equal to the first term, n is the number of term, and d is the common difference. Okay, activity 1. Determine if the sequence is arithmetic or not. If it is, find the common difference. Example in number 1, 7, 10, 13, 16, and so on. We'll be using now your equation. A sub n is equal to a sub 1 plus the quantity n minus 1 times d. So if we will find the common difference, we must know the given. A sub 1 is equal to 7, a sub n is equal to 16, n is 4 because there are 4 terms, 7, 10, 13, 16. And the unknown here is your common difference. So by simplifying, we have a sub n is 16 is equal to 7 plus the quantity 4 minus 1 times d. So by finding the additive inverse of 7, we have negative 7. So whatever you do from the left side of the equation, you must do it from the right side of the equation. So 16 minus 7 is equal to 7 minus 7 plus the quantity 3 times d. So we have 9 is equal to 3d. Dividing both sides by 3, so you have the common difference is equal to 3. It is an arithmetic sequence. Next, number 2, 5, 10, 20, 40. The illustration here has no common difference. So therefore, this is not an arithmetic sequence. Now we have the short method in finding the difference or the common difference by subtracting the first term by the second term or the second term from the third term. Number 1, we have 7, 10, 13, 16, and so on. So using your short method, we have your common difference d is equal to a sub 2 minus a sub 1 is equal to 10, the second term, minus the first term, 7, is equal to 3. Another one, a sub 3 minus a sub 2 is equal to 13 minus 10 is equal to 3. Then therefore, the common difference is, okay, activity 2. Direction, find the common difference d and determine the next 3 terms. So example, negative 18, negative 26, negative 34, negative 42. What are the 3 terms? So using your arithmetic sequence formula, a sub n is equal to a sub 1 plus the quantity n minus 1 times d, where the given here are n, which is negative 4 because there are 4 terms, a sub 1, the first term is equal to negative 18. The last term is negative 42. And the common difference is unknown. So by simplification, we have negative 42 is equal to negative 18 plus the quantity 4 minus 1 is equal to D. So by finding the additive inverse of negative 18, we have positive 18. So whatever you do from the right side of the equation, you must do it from the left side of the equation. So you have now negative 24 is equal to 3D. Dividing both sides by 3, then the common difference is negative 8. Now to find the next three terms, you have to add the common difference to the last term, which is negative 42 plus negative 8. They have the common sign, so add their absolute value. 42 plus 8 is equal to 50. The common sign is negative, so the next term is negative 50. Then next, you have to add negative 50 to the common difference. So negative 50 plus negative 8, the common sign, so add their absolute value. 50 plus 8 is 58. Their common sign is negative, so therefore negative 58. Next again, to find the next term, you have to add again negative 58 plus negative 8. So you have 58 plus 8 is 66. Their common sign is negative, so negative 66. So the next three terms are negative 50, negative 58, and negative 66. Okay, we can use also your short method. The common difference is equal to a sub 2 minus a sub 1 is equal to negative 26 minus quantity negative 18, so is equal to negative 26 plus 18. You have a like sign, so you have to subtract 26 minus 18 is equal to 8. The sign of the greater absolute value is negative, so the difference is negative 18. Next, a sub 3 minus a sub 2 is equal to negative 34 minus the quantity negative 26 is equal to negative 34 plus 26. So, like sign, 34 minus 26 is equal to 8. The sign of the greater absolute value is negative, so the difference is negative 8. So therefore, the common difference is negative 8. Then the next three terms are negative 50, negative 58, and negative 66. Activity 3. Match the following sequence to its corresponding next term. We have your A and B. In number 1, negative 10, negative 7, negative 4, 87, 80, 73, and number 3, negative 15, negative 21, negative 27. Then you have to match this to B, where A is negative 33, B is negative 1, and C is 66. Here you can use your equation or your short method. Okay, that ends my lecture. Thank you and stay tuned for the next virtual instruction.